Good day, everyone. Welcome to January 9th. There are a whole lot of college basketball games. It's a big day for sports in general. We have football playoff weekend and a ton of college basketball. Let's make this, I always say it, let's make it a quick video. Let's try it. Yesterday the 8th, we went 21 and 9 on here. I did make some bets yesterday. I did make a drive yesterday. I did well on this ticket. I took five here and did threes, fours, and fives round robin, and I won a little. Lost this game with Alabama, but won a little bit, not bad. The other ticket is getting a little scary. I did a lot because I also threw some football on here again, but I would like to redo my football picks. If you watched my football video last night, I actually think Indianapolis plus 6.5 is a better pick, and Washington plus 8 is a better pick than this. So I hate what I did here. This one may be in trouble because we won these two games, but we lost anyway. All right, let's get out of there. So let's talk about yesterday, though. Overall, interesting look. A lot of wins. Some huge favorites went down that I stayed away from. Like this here, Wright State goes down. Oral Roberts goes down. Those are some pretty big losses there. Yeah, I mean, these teams that play games or whatever. Not bad. A lot of the stuff I said won. Down here it gets a little interesting. And the reason why I bring this up, so we lose Riverside at home and Michigan State at home. Notice on my ticket here, I actually took Purdue plus 6 instead. And the reason why I did was this was so far down on the margin list, meaning this is a very equivalent teams playing against each other, that after our home bump of 9%, which pushes the home team up, Michigan only gets above a margin of 0 because of the home bump. And so does Riverside. Jacksonville goes down because of the bump, but they also lost. So it's like, well, what happens if we change the bump around? 7%? Look what happens. We were 21 and 9 at a 9% bump. When we have a 7% bump, same thing. Give it a second. Really? It needs actually to take time to process. This is the problem. The file's getting so big, everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't change yesterday. No, because I froze the stats. Never mind. It's not going to mess with yesterday. I apologize. But you can see that if you'd raise it by a couple percentage points, these two home teams would come off because they would go down. So it makes me think that this bump, I'm going to bring the bump down to 8% for today because I mentioned this last year that the bump was like 4% last year. That's half of, it's going to get too complicated to explain, but 8% is equivalent to the 4% last year, the way I was programming it. So 8% might be a better, because I didn't like to see this. I didn't like to see these two home teams losing here. Anyway, all right, let's go to today. Only 92 games on the schedule. Oh my God. How are we going to do this? We're going to sort. We're going to use filters, everybody. I'm not going to go through every game, obviously. You don't want to watch me do that, and I don't want to do that. You can subscribe. You get a copy of this Excel file if you subscribe, as well as access to the Google Sheet. So yeah, you get everything. Somebody asked me that. What do you get? You get everything. You get an email with the Excel file, and you get the snapshot of the picks. And I mean, you get to do what I'm doing right here. So with these 90 some odd games, what's the first thing we need to do? We need to get rid of teams and games that have 2, 3. I'm even cutting off the 4s. 2s, 3s, and 4 games played. We don't care about you because you don't have enough stats for our algorithm. So let's forget about those games. 5s are the minimum. That brings us down to 82 games. All right, we're sorting by margin. So of all the games, if you ask a question about of all the games, Gonzaga is the best team comparatively to Portland of all the teams, meaning the greatest disparity in two teams that we can find throughout the day is Gonzaga and Portland, which is why Gonzaga is minus 100,000. Oh my God, is that what that is? Jesus. Oh, took me a full cup of coffee to get everything done today. There's so many games. We've got some home teams here. We're going to look for some lines. Oh, I mean, Jesus. What pops out? Well, I mean, you got a minus 240 up here. Akron against Eastern Michigan. They both only have 5 games played, though. Here's a minus 144. Again? Didn't this game happen yesterday? Didn't Quinnipiac beat... They were one of our picks yesterday, right? Sometimes they're doing this where they're playing the same... Yeah, this happened yesterday. And 70, sorry, the final scores were Quinnipiac won 84-79. So similar line as yesterday. We still like Quinnipiac to win there, so they do it again twice in a row. UConn away at Butler. Yeah, Butler's not as good as they were last year. I don't know. There's still only 8 games. All right, here's what we're going to do because there's so many games. We've got our 8% bump. We got some home teams. A lot of aways down here. These are interesting because if we put our home bump back up to 9%, let's just make sure that these away teams are still up here. Look at this. Santa Clara at Mount St. Mary's plus 380. They're on the road, but even after our bump, we still think they're going to win, but the point projections are all screwed up. Yeah, don't trust my point projections. I just haven't had time to do it, and it's too complicated. So let me sort real quick, and then I'm going to be done with this video because I got to run. All right, so let's do descending by money line. So these are going to be the best odds where we think the algorithm thinks that this team is going to win the game. So with a day like today where there are so many games to choose from, it really opens up your possibilities. I think it's just a perfectly made day for a bunch of round robins. You know, you grab like 5 or 6 of these and you throw them all together. And with these kind of odds, you can actually take all these teams with the points also and throw them on a round robin. I'd stay away from, although Incarnate this is New Orleans. I thought New Orleans was their first home game. It's their first home game, I think, because I had to add them to the home list, or one of their first home games. Well, all right. So you can see, is there anything up here that looks just awesome? Wow, this is going to be a good game. Citadel and Chattanooga. This is in Citadel. 7-12 games. I mean, this is a really good line. And their percentage is 20. Chattanooga's okay, though. It's a tough call there, but that's a really good line. Oh, God, Wofford. Can we just stay away from Wofford? Can we stay away from them? Every time I touch them in any direction, I lose. So, Morgan State, Montana State, Hartford over UMass Lowell. Texas away at West Virginia is slightly favored. That's interesting. Guess they must be pretty good. Again, this is a repeat game of yesterday where Green Bay won. Again, they're an underdog. Same line as yesterday. It's a joke. All right, so anyway, guys, I got to run. Let me go back to but real quick. So if you did something nutty, right, I'll show you the 2 different ways that this plays out. So let's get rid of my picks. We're going to get rid of this. I don't think I'm going to win my 17 round robin here that I got going on. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you the difference between the 2. So if you go and you take all these top 8 teams, there's a lot of good in here. So you took all these 8 teams and you threw them in here. And then you also took their odds, their money line odds, okay? So these are really unbelievable odds. So you put them here. If you were able to wager at a casino that has a $1 minimum, let's call it a $2 minimum because a lot of them are $2. $2 on the 18 round robins, 2 on the 17 round robin, 2 on the 6, 2 on the 5. You could bring this all the way down to like 3s. It's a $430 bet. That's too much, though. So if you get rid of this, the thing is with all these crazy lines, you don't want to just play the ones up here because you're not going to probably win all these games. But, look at this, right? 4s, 5s, 6. Here's a $320 bet that pays $23,000. And that's actually with a loss. Hold on a second. It pays $82,000. This pays $82,000. Let's bring this down to $1 a piece just to see what's possible. $160 makes $41,000 if you hit this. Now, of course, you're probably not going to hit this. Let's say that Wofford loses. You still get 10 grand. Let's say Santa Clara loses. This plus 380 was out of whack. Now you only get a 1500. Let's say Citadel also blows it. Now you still win because these lines are so great. And then you're going to be out of money, I think, here, right? Oh, you still get 26 bucks. So this is quite an interesting, ridiculous payout for stuff that the algorithm is saying winning. Now here's another thing, though. What if instead of doing it this way, you do it this way where all these are plus the points? So they're all going to be minus 110. And the way to show you how many points that would be to do something like this. Let's do equals this ampersand quote space ampersand the point spread right here. Let's see if that works. And the answer is yes. And this is all going to be, actually this can be plus. Let's put a plus there. So we're going to grab all the first 8 right there. And this is what it would look like right here. So you'd have Santa Clara plus 9. So a lot of good points in here. Down here, you're only getting a couple and a half. So in this scenario, where you've got $1, you know, the same thing we did over here. Actually, I take it back. Let's do the whole, because you're taking all these with the points, you could do the whole tamale. So if you do 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s, here's a 244 bet if it's $1 each. And it pays 4,800 bucks. And this is actually reasonable. I mean, as far as reasonable goes, because you get in points with all these teams. So the algorithm thinks they're going to win. Algorithm thinks they're going to win the game. So to get them with points should be really helpful. You're probably not going to win 8. I mean, it's tough. But what if, you know, you lose this one? You probably go like, if you go 6 and 2, you're going to win money. Yeah, you're going to double your money at 6 and 2. And you got a chance at ridiculous payout. Not as ridiculous as this payout, but ridiculous nonetheless, because that's pretty darn good. And if you want to trim this down a little bit, because you don't want to bet on all of them, I'd probably do something like this. This would be my daily thing. Would be a $90 bet trying to win 3,500, trying to hit all these points. So that is our update. Of course, our short video, 12 minutes. I kind of like that. I kind of like leaving the spread hanging out in one thing there. All right, guys, I'm sending an email. So good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. Watch some football, watch some basketball. Do what you got to do. It's a crazy algorithm weekend. Good luck.